Welcome back, dear student, to online classes. Have a pleasant morning to all of you. I, Ajay Kumar, your English teacher, is going to teach you grammar, and the topic is nouns, that is gender. So, before we start our classes, do you remember that what are the topics we have covered in our previous classes? Yes, we have covered nouns, that was kind. Then we have covered nouns, that was numbers, and then after we have covered noun, that was uncountable and countable nouns, and now we are going to cover nouns, that is gender. So before we start, we will go through the 4 points which is written here, and we'll read it one by one. The first point, that is, let me take the magic pen here. When we talk about the gender of nouns, we have to think about whether the noun refers to humans, animals, or non-living objects. The next point which we have to know is that in case of human, males or females are always referred to differently, right? In case of animals, the gender may or may not be used depending upon the situation. Try to understand this second point. In case of human, males and females are always referred to differently, right? For males we use he, and for females we use she. But in case of animals, the gender may or may not be used, and it depends upon what? It depends upon the situation. Now the third point in the sequence is plants, although living, are not thought of as a male or female. We know that what is plant? Plant is a living thing, right? But although it is a living thing, we are not thinking about whether the plant is male or female, right? And it is always treated like as a object. So I think now you have understood this third point. Now the fourth point is that we usually mention the gender of an animal. We usually mention the gender of an animal when we are sure of it, and or when very familiar with the animal itself. So to understand this, we'll go through the example. You can see here example A. She is the mother of those puppies. They snuggle with her when they sleep. So we are sure about the gender. Why? Because the puppies are sleeping, and the mother, because she is the mother, so she'll be counted as the female, right? We are sure about the gender, so we are using she for that animal. In the next example, we can see the name of my cat is Admetus. The name of my cat is Admetus. He is very quiet. He is very quiet. So you can see that familiar with the animal. When we are keeping any pet animal at our home, we are sure about the gender and we are familiar with that animal, so that's why we are giving the name as a male or female. Now we'll go ahead and try to separate it according to the masculine, feminine, and neuter. So whom do we count as masculine? We count human males as masculine, male animals as masculine, and we count human females as feminine. We count female animals as feminine, and we count neuter to non-living objects like chair, car, anything. Animals referred to generally, the animals which are referred to generally are also called as a neuter, and abstract nouns such as laughter, light, kindness, these are all neuter. So there are the three parts of gender, that is masculine, feminine and neuter, right? Now the next topic is gender specific and gender neutral pronouns. As we can see, only we have seen above that only three pronouns in English show a gender, and they are third person singular pronouns. What are that? We have already learnt about that. That masculine means male, so he. Also we called his, and the pronouns used for he is the pronoun also, and his, him, himself, these all are the pronouns. In feminine we can see that she, that is also called her, herself, right? In neuter, it, and it is also called its and itself, right? So these are the specific gender, and the neutral gender for neutral pronoun for this is for he, him, his, himself, for she, her, herself, and neuter for it is itself and its. So these are the pronouns. These pronouns are gender specific because when they are used in a sentence, these are at once know whether they refer to male, female, or non-living thing. To understand this easily, we will go through one example. Three examples, not one example. The first example is that this is my dog, Bruno. He is very well behaved. Now when we are talking about the dog, it means it is a animal, and that is general in gender, right? However, when we are giving the name Bruno, it sounds as a male name, and that's why we are using he for the dog. Now the next example is her tour starts tomorrow. She made all the travel arrangement herself, right? So when we are talking about her, it is very simple that we can understand we are talking about the female, and that's why the gender of her is female, right? In the next example we can see, throw away that mirror, it is cracked. Now can you tell me what type of gender is mirror? Yes, recall it or guess it. Correct. The mirror is a neuter gender, right? And why it is? Because it is a non-living thing. Now the next in the sequence is the other pronouns do not show gender when they are used in a sentence. There are some pronouns also available in sentence which does not show any type of gender, and we therefore refer to as a neutral gender. And what are those? The first person, I. So when I say I mean when anyone say I, can we find the gender, that whether the girl is saying I or the boy is saying I? No. Even the girl says I and the boy say I. So I is a neutral gender used for male as well as female. Now the next example of it is first person plural, right? That is we. When we say we, can you guess that whether this we represent to the male or female? No, we can't, right? We cannot determine that to whom, whether to male or female, this we is categorizing. In the similar way, we will move to the second person singular and plural, that you. You is also not defining whether you is talking about the male or female. However, in the third person singular number, categorize he, she, he as a male and she as a female. But the third person plural number does not categorize anything like as a male or female, and when we call they, then it denotes to either male or female, both. So that's why they is called neutral gender. Now sometimes nouns in a sentence may stand for either male or a female. Now we'll see the example for that. My friends is visiting from the US and I am going to meet him today. So when this sentence has been spoken, can you guess that who are the friends? Whether the friends are male or female? No one can guess unless it is told, unless it is said by the speaker, right? The next example is that it's my cousin's birthday. What shall I gift him? So when we are talking about the cousins, like either it is male or female, both are cousin. So unless we are specifying that my cousin is like male or female, we are not knowing the gender of cousins, right? So these are the words or nouns which stand for both, either for males or females. The next example is that the principal is not in office today as she or he is unwell. So unless and until if you are not knowing about the name of the principal, how come you'll tell about the gender of the principal, right? So if we are knowing the name of the principal, then we may call that the principal is not in the office today as she is unwell, right? Or the principal is not in the office today as he is unwell. So it all depends upon the name. That name will specify the gender. Now you will notice that nouns such as friends, guest, cousin, principal and singer can refer either to male or female, and they are said to have a common gender, right? So suppose one more example I am giving you, doctor. If I am saying that the doctor is very good in doing surgery, so can you guess the gender of that doctor, whether I'm talking about a female doctor or like a male doctor? No, unless I am taking the name that Dr. Batra is very proficient in doing surgery, or Dr. Pallavi is very proficient in doing surgery. So when we are talking about the name, then it is specifying the gender of the person. Unless we are not specifying the name, it will be said to have a common gender. Now singular collective nouns, right? The gender of people referred to collectively is not specified. It does not matter if they are all males or females. Such singular collective nouns are said to have the neuter gender and as referred by the pronoun it. Okay, now let us read some example to understand this point. The first example which we can see here is the army pushed forward till it was well inside the enemy lines. Now in the army it could be female soldiers and male soldiers both. So the army is a collective noun, right? You all know that there are many soldiers in army. So army is a collective noun, and as well as it is what? It is a neutral gender, right? The next is the crowd was so angry that it broke through the police barricades. So when we are talking about the crowd, it is again a collective noun, and we know that there could be anyone in the crowd, in that crowd, male or female, anyone could be there in that crowd, and they have broken the police barricades. Now the next example is that every family has its share of joys and sadness. So in the family there could be, like male and female also, both. And since it is a collective noun, there are many members in one family, so it is a collective noun. So generally the singular collective nouns are neuter in gender. Okay. So dear student, now it was the end of today's session, and we'll read the next remained part in next class. And I believe and I hope that you have understood it completely. Okay, now we'll meet tomorrow. Till then, bye, take care, and have a nice day. Thank you.